Hey guys, Martin here bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to talk about the content, or I guess lack thereof, in the game at the moment, and what is going to be coming up soon, or at least one of the things that we know is coming up soon, and then I guess the rest is kind of just speculation based on a few things that we do know, and obviously taking a look at the schedule from last year to try and get a bit of an idea. So we technically are in two celebrations at the moment, right? We have the Heroes celebration, which started early with the release of like the free-to-play characters and some of the events and everything. I think it technically started, yeah, the 6th of November was when the Heroes celebration officially began. We had to wait to get the banner and everything until the morning of the 12th in the UK, so the evening of the 11th. But we're also still technically in the middle of the Slug celebration, because the Slug celebration started on the 31st of October, and as you can see has an end date of Wednesday the 20th of November. So the Slug celebration is technically ending this week, upcoming, and you know, with only a few days left, there's no other content that we're expecting. They've updated this like news entry thing to include obviously the Beerus Super EZA. And obviously we did get the Bojack ECA that wasn't listed in the original celebration info either. So we got this stuff here, and then that's going to be the end and wrapping up the Lord Slug celebration, like I say, when we get to Wednesday of this upcoming week. But if we look back at the Heroes celebration, we obviously did finally get the banner, obviously with the Dokkan event, with the new sales, and then if we keep scrolling down, we got the new events. The EZA banner was obviously out early. The shop was available with the stone. It should be listed in here further down, right? Because it has been updated. It's in the in-game version. Is it not in here, or did I miss it? Did they move it to the top and I didn't see it? Yeah, it's there. So the only other thing that's been added in that we know is upcoming is the God Trunks event getting a burst mode, which is cool. I do like it when we get the burst modes. They are fun. We always do a thing in the Discord where we go for as high a score as possible and people post their scores. Just a bit of like friendly competition. So I always look forward to the new burst modes to see if we can start setting some crazy scores. Lately they seem to have made quite a few adjustments to the modifiers to make it very, very easy to get the bare minimum, like 6,000 points. Like some of them in the past have been a bit tricky, and therefore getting scores above 6,000 has been somewhat difficult. Whereas now the 6,000 for the last few hasn't been that hard, and so by ramping on all the extra modifiers and stuff and posting these like scores in the Discord, we've had people getting up to like 8,000, you know, even close to 9,000 on some of them if you put all the modifiers on. So be interesting to see how this one goes. But yeah, the God Trunks burst mode is coming on, this is Thursday morning, the 21st of November. So it'll be late Wednesday the 20th evening if you are in the US. But that's it. That's the only thing listed in the celebration info. Obviously, we had the hope right from the very start that there was going to be like a part 2 celebration for Heroes or something like that. But with the sales going on all the way until the 27th, it doesn't seem very likely that anything else is going to be coming out, because if we switch over to the wiki view here and take a look at the timeline from last year, this is for JP. So obviously Slug came out on the 31st of October. We can see last year we got the Dokkan Fest on the 31st of October. It was the Piccolo and Gohan. And then we went into November, and the beginning of November was very, very dry for content, right? It took almost a week from Gohan and Piccolo coming out, and we just got a chain battle and then an EZA for the LR, Nappa, and Vegeta, right? So we got the LR, we got the EZA for Bojack to go with Slug, you know, new Super Power stages, stuff like that. Then we just got, for the next, like, what, 2 weeks, all we got was another support memory update stage, Petan battle. We got the free-to-play Prime Battle LR Gohan EZA. That was a full week after the EZA for Nappa and Vegeta. So for that whole week, all we had was their EZA, the support memory boost stage, and then Petan battle. Then we got the free-to-play EZA, and then the next thing was Heroes coming out on the 22nd. So on the 14th, after a week of barely getting any content, we got a free-to-play ECA and then went 8 days without getting anything else. So this time of year has always been really, really quiet for the game. But the thing that makes it more confusing this year is the fact that they started the Heroes celebration early in the middle of the Slug celebration. So we had stuff coming out at the same time, like the banners came out on the same day that Bojack got his EZA. And then obviously the Beerus Super EZA dropped randomly now as well as part of the end of the Slug celebration. It seems like it would have been a lot easier to shift the Hero celebration back by like a week or something. But I'm assuming the reason why it dropped when it did is because they wanted to tie it in with the release of the Heroes mode for the Divers arcade machines in Japan that officially launched on the 11th. Which obviously, so I guess in some places, the thing is, that's why I got confused about when the banner was going to release, because Japan is ahead of the UK, and obviously I'm ahead of the US time zones. So if it's the 11th in Japan, it's always going to be the 11th here, or potentially even late on the 10th, which means in the US, it's going to be the 10th. So when people were talking about the Divers mode coming out on the 11th, it's one of the main reasons why I had originally thought the banner was going to come out a day earlier than it actually did. But either way, they started the celebration a bit early, and so now we are unfortunately left in this situation, as often happens with these smaller celebrations for Dokkan, where they don't sort of spread out the content, or you know, they don't throw in these little things. We've talked about this 100 times at least at this point, where they could easily throw in like category missions versus certain events. Like, it's the Heroes celebration, right? It's all about heroes for this particular celebration. So why did they not add, like, even if it was every couple of days, or even if they did add some of them all at once and then add some a bit later on, like, why do we not get missions for, you know, like the old red zones where they've done that before? Beat like the Broly stage of the movie boss red zone, or beat Kid Buu of the Buu Saga red zone from Worldwide Celebration with a Dragon Ball Heroes team. Like, stuff like that would obviously be very, very easy to do, very easy to add in, to add content. But yeah, as of now, the only thing we know about is the Trunks Burst mode, which is coming out on Wednesday. And then you can see Heroes ran up until I think technically the event, this part of the celebration was still up, but the next Dokkan Fest came out on the 30th of November. So we do know, as I say, with the information from the Heroes celebration over here, that the sales, it's the Slug one, the sales run until the 27th, and this is like the afternoon. This is basically the same time that the Slug sales ended before the Heroes banner came out, so the banner should come out the next day, which is the 28th. Is there a Kai banner? See, the Kai banner runs until the 29th, so it actually might be the 29th, because lately the Kai banner has been the best way to tell when new units are going to come out, as opposed to the sales. In the past, Dokkan would never go for very long without sales being active, but it seems like this will probably be where the new Dokkan Fest comes out, because you can see the Kai banner went live on the 12th at 5 AM. That's when the Heroes banner came out for me, and then the Kai banner runs up until 1 minute before the same time on the Friday. So it's potentially going to be the 29th when the next Dokkan Fest comes out. And that is, of course, we are expecting a crossover Dokkan Fest. I mean, I say we're expecting. People always get these expectations, and then when they're not met, they get disappointed. But I think it's listed. Is it in the banner? It's not listed. I can't click on the banner on here. So the banner had its own information. Let me try and bring it up in the game, because the big thing that people are wondering about is the, oh, I know what it is. It's there's the actual separate news entry for the banner, which is that one. So yeah, the big thing is this part down here. Scroll all the way down past the info for the characters. Here we go. Certain SSR collaboration characters who've appeared in Dragon Ball Heroes Crossover Summon are unavailable in this summon event. Now, that has happened before. I was confused about who it was, so shout out to Prof for a look at the list and everything. It's basically all the characters that already had an EZA before this celebration were not available in the banner. So like the really old units like Super Saiyan 3 Xeno Goku, Super Saiyan 3 Trunks, Super Saiyan 3 Gohan, some of these like older characters, they're not in the general pool on the main banner, which is interesting, but they actually did the same thing last year as well. So they're only in the general pool on the EZA banner. But it's this next bit below. Characters who belong to the crossover category will also be available in a summon event that is scheduled to become available in the near future. So the one thing that this makes me think of is if we go back to the timeline for last year when we had the 21 come out. I suppose it doesn't actually show it on here, does it? Because they don't show specific banners. And I'd have to search through Dokkan info to try and find it. But one thing that they could do is if they're dropping a Dokkan Fest that has crossover as one of the leader skills, then obviously we could see one of those banners that's just like the crossover support banner. And then chances are maybe some of the heroes characters would be in there. But the thing is, it doesn't specify heroes characters. It does just say characters that belong to the crossover category will be available in an event that's scheduled in the near future. Because this is the big thing, remember, that we don't know going forward is what's going to happen with the heroes cards. Are they going to go in the general pool? Are they never going to be available again? Like, I guess we just don't really know. So if we do get this crossover Dokkan Fest come out at the end of November, then maybe there will be some sort of representation of heroes, because that would be the biggest W for all, is that if the heroes celebrations are coming to an end because the game has come to an end, the people that own the rights to heroes have made some sort of deal with these companies that make the games so that the heroes units can now be used and can come out, you know, outside of just November. But I think that is unlikely. That is like the best case scenario, because we know that we're still getting heroes EZAs in the future. But all that could look like is that literally like next November, we just get the EZAs and then like a banner that has the EZA units on it. And that's it, right? Which would be weird because like the older EZA units would have to be in the unfeatured pool. But would some of the other units be? Because like if you summon on the EZA banner in the unfeatured pool, you can still get the older like other heroes units, which would be interesting if they do that again for next year. But obviously, there is no way to know. But unfortunately, things looking very dry at the moment. Trunks Burst Mode coming out on Thursday. But unless they drop some sort of surprise or we get some sort of preview earlier on, not going to be any big news coming for the beginning of next week, unfortunately. It is a little bit of a shame how it's kind of panned out like this. Because obviously for global players as well, November was always that little bit more busy, because we got the Tanabata celebration stuff, or at least the part 1 of the Tanabata celebration stuff, squeezed into the beginning of November, and then it went straight into Heroes. Whereas obviously now, with everything coming out on both versions at the same time, we got the Slug and Heroes celebrations at the same time, and then they've both kind of been drawing to an end with very little content left to go in both of those celebrations. But if it is indeed coming out the morning of the 29th, it means we've got almost 2 weeks until the next like major event actually takes place in the game, which is a little bit unfortunate. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Are you looking forward to the Trunks God Trunks Burst Mode? Are you having fun with the heroes units if you use them? And what do you think the next Dokkan Fest will be? I did a video talking about it the other day. I very much would like to see Gohan Black, but I don't know how likely that will be. They made a big deal out of him being in Sparking, right? It was in V-Jump. There's a load of articles about it. Like, that would be super cool, but I don't know how likely it is. Let me know your thoughts on what you guys want to see down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.